We're live. All right, what's going on, everybody? I'm feeling very under the weather, but I seen the United States take on Canada today in the women's hockey gold final, and I tell you what, I got me off my ass, and I had to speak about it. That game was on both ends of the ice. From Canada coming coming into this game, they weren't really. I know it's Canada, and I know they've won it the past 4 years, but this United States women's team has been so dominant. They've only allowed one goal up until the gold, and just it plays to play 6 games. I think it was a record of 319 minutes without letting up a goal is spectacular. And so props to Canada for holding in there, not just holding in there, but making it a game. If you looked at the shots, it was 32 Canada, 31 United States. Canada lost to the United States 5-0 early in the tournament. And like I said, for them to just flip the switch, and they almost had it too. And I watched the 2022 Gold game. Same scenario. Canada was leading 3-2 in the third period. United States pulled the goalie, tried everything to get that goal, and to see it happen 4 years later, and not only tie the game but win it in overtime. Great stuff. That game was so awesome to watch. I'm so grateful. I tuned in and just to from the broadcast from Kenny Albert, great game he called, and and that was honestly the best game so far of the Olympics. I know the United States and Sweden, and I'll get into that, but that game on paper, United States is probably supposed to win 3-0. And for it to just go back and forth and no quitting these girls at all. Every shift was stick on puck, winning puck battles, finding the open woman and trying to finish. But each time they were finding these gaps and finding these loopholes to try and score. Each team shut them down. Each team was on each other's ass, and great game. It was. Oh, I'm so proud. I'm so proud. And finally, the United States. And over the past 24 years, 26 years, it's either been Canada or United States. And I believe that Canada has won it the past since 2010. That was the last time the United States won a gold medal in women's hockey. 16 years later, a dominant tournament run, tying it up with 2 minutes left to go. Hillary Knight, who also is now the league, not the league leading, but the women's Olympic goal leader of all time, well deserved. And Hillary Knight, you got to go look back at that goal. And but before I get into excuse me, Megan Keller. Before I get into the Megan Keller goal, I want to talk about the setup. Who set her up? Edwards on the defense behind her own net. Like takes a quick look off the wall. Excuse me, under the weather today. Off the boards. Perfect pass. Clayton Keller head up, shimmy shammy around the defenseman, backhand 5-hole. Perfection. Perfection. If I was the coach of that team, I couldn't be any more proud on both sides, Canada and United States. I couldn't be proud of though that game was wonderful. Wonderful. So wonderful that it got me off my ass to do this. And I planned on doing something, but I caught a cold and it's just been escalating really badly. My voice is really raspy, but we're pushing through just like the United States. Down one, 2 minutes left to go. Goalie pulled Hillary Knight with and Edwards with the shot. She had 2 assists. Edwards with the shot, Hillary Knight with the tip, Edwards with the pass off the boards in overtime, and Megan Keller finishes it. Sweet spot, 5-hole. Couldn't write a better script than that. So that was the women's, and what a women's final that was. Now we're on to the semifinals of the first game we have. Well, actually, let's get into the quarterfinals recap. Let's get into the United States taking on Sweden, the United States has not beat Sweden in 60 years. 60. I know they won it in 1980 with the Miracle on Ice, but I don't believe that they played. I think they played in the preliminary rounds, but they probably got beat really bad. And it's been 60 years since we beat them. And Sweden, same situation. Down 1-0, a minute 19 left. Red Wing superstar Lucas Raymond could have taken the shot. He found Mika Zibanejad wide open. One-timer, ties it 1-1. Everybody's shaking for the United States. I mean, this is supposed to be the best team assembled since all time. And, Sweden knows that we've beat them for the past 60 years. Let's make it another 64. So when they scored that goal, I was watching with my brother, and I was like, "Oh no, this is not good," because now you got to go on 3-on-3 overtime, and with the Swedes, they've got superstars as well. They're just as good 3-on-3 as the United States, but the only outlier is Quinn Hughes. Nobody could stop him out there. He actually waved off the coach because he was out there for about 3-4 minutes, and he's like, "No, I'm staying out there. I'm staying out there." They get into the offensive zone. They get it back to Quinn Hughes at the point. He has the best edge work I have ever seen. It's him or Sidney Crosby from a defenseman, though. He is so agile on those skates. And that's why I tell the kids at home who play hockey, work on your edge work. That's what's going to get you to the big leagues. It's not going to be your shot. It could be your speed, but it's all about the edge work. Lateral quickness, elusiveness, winning, etc. And the clutch moment from Quinn Hughes to get that shot and that bing off the post in goal. United States is now taking on Slovakia in the semifinals. Say your prayers, Slovakia, because I think it's going to be about 4-0, 4-1, 5-0, 5-1. Slovakia has held their own. They just don't have the depth. And they do have a couple superstars in Yuri Slafkovsky and Cernak, but they don't really have strong goaltending that's going to compare to the United States. So I'm not really worried about Slovakia, but what a game that was. Another United States overtime win, and we have another overtime game in Canada and Chechnya. 2-2, 7 minutes left. I don't know his name, but he had a great block that caused a 2-on-1. Marty Necas takes it down the ice, passes it over, goal. 3-2 Chechnya with 7 minutes to go. 7 minutes. Canada is down 3-2, and if they lose, they're not making it to the semifinal. And it's every year, semifinal, final. Pretty much every year since this has been debuted, since the Olympics started, hockey, they've always went there, just as the women's. And there was a guy that scored the game-tying goal, 3-3, who took a lot of criticism being selected. And people saying, "Oh, Bedard should have went," which I believe Bedard should have been on that roster, but Nick Suzuki should have not been he should have not been the replacement. And there was a lot of talk on social media, why is he on the team? He's a fourth liner. He's not going to get that much ice time. Well, he was out there with 3 minutes left, and he had this tip in that was going way far wide, and he took his stick, bam, 5-hole, place erupted. You got to listen to the Quebec broadcast of it. They were going bonkers. So they tied it 3-3. They went in overtime as well, and Mitch Marner plays for the Vegas Golden Knights, takes it down, backhands it, goal. Semifinal bound is Canada and Finland and United States and Slovakia. Can we see the bigger picture, everybody? Can we see what's going on here? I'm not going to say anything because the hockey gods, I do not want to risk anything. But if you watch last year, the Four Nations tournament, everybody knew it was United States and Canada. Everybody. And they dominated, both of them. And they both played great games. And to finish it off, Canada won 3-2 in overtime. But are we seeing the same thing? I think the world wants to see it, except if you're Slovakia and Finland. I think the world wants to see it. I want to see it. That game, I've never been more fired up in my life about a game. Honestly, I tell you what, I've never been more fired up. That game, because it's not a Stanley Cup. It's not. It's a worldwide thing. This is the best of the best. 12 teams going up against each other in the world, skating on ice with a 1/8 blade, 1/8 of an inch blade, going out there and representing your country to get a gold medal. There's not biggest game. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not gonna foresee the future here because they still got they still got to play Finland, and Finland is the third best team. I would have said Sweden, but they just been on and off. They played a great game against the United States, but they played Finland. They lost to them 4-1. Finland plays a very structured game to where they make their plays. They don't give up turnovers, and that's what something that Canada likes to do. Canada really likes to get turnovers in the offensive zone, create a 2-on-1 with Macklin Celebrini, Sidney Crosby, Connor McDavid, Nathan MacKinnon. The list goes on and on and on. So I don't think that Finland can withstand the firepower. So I got to give Canada. I got to give Canada the win. And the United States and Slovakia, I believe it's just, and people are saying, not foreigners, but people from other countries they're saying like I'll check it out on Twitter. Yeah, they're just saying that United States is going to be hungover and they're going to underestimate Slovakia. I don't buy it. I really don't. After what happened with Sweden, and also Slovakia went to overtime. Oh no, excuse me, they did not. They won 6-2 against Germany. That was the only game that did not go to overtime in the quarterfinals. Excuse me. So we have our semifinals set, and I will be back to give you guys the finals analysis of the 2026 Milan Hockey Finals. And going back to the women's game, they set the standard for young girls in the United States of America for years to come. For girls that were watching at home on their TV, thinking that now it could be their turn in the next 4, 8, 12 years. It could be their turn. They're going to do it. They're going to look at what Hillary Knight did. Braylon Edwards, and Hillary and Megan Keller, who had a fantastic deke and goal to win it for them. So they set the rivalry. Definitely, there's a rivalry standard now with the United States and Canada because they've beat them for the past 16 years. Well, you minus the 4 years, but they've won in 16 years. And this is going to be if the finals is United States Canada, this is like two big not even the monster trucks just going at it. Godzilla, King Kong, something like that, something around the reins of that. And I believe, oh God, I hope I don't jinx it, but we are headed for another North American Classic. I'm Noah Shamami. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys tune into the rest of the Olympics. It is streamed on Peacock Plus. And hold on, before I go, what is going on with? I see people posting videos and stuff of the Olympics. They take it very seriously. I post pictures and stuff. So like. Olympics, like, do we have the okay to, air NBC and Peacock's footage? If yes, great. I just don't want to get sued. That's all. I know I'm not that big, but I'm not trying to get sued. Believe me, I do not have the funds for that, and they do. They've got the lawyers, all that stuff. So, but yeah. So I see that. So I might be airing some footage of the Olympics. And you guys have a great rest of your night. Go USA, and have a great night, everybody.